Alrighty then, what's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Welcome back to another edition of our Monday night online open mic presented by the Barbed Open Mic Series. We're based out of El Paso, Texas, Chuco Land. And my name is Richie David Marrufo. I'll be your MC and host. Actually, I'm not going to be hosting today. I'm the project director, though. And before I hand over the reins to tonight's host, just want to again just welcome you guys to our online show. Just like any other open mic, if you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up. So if you're somehow watching right now, then the link to sign up is in the description of this video. If you just happen to tune in live, we also definitely encourage you guys to hang out with us in the live chat. I know I hang out there. I know a lot of the other performers do, and there are a lot of regulars who just come in and support other performers. It's nice to know who is listening along and watching. And if you're watching this later during the week, it's not Monday night, June 16th, then leave a comment. Let us know. Make sure to all the algorithmic stuff, like, comment, subscribe. If you want to be notified anytime we go live, there's a little bell that you can click. If you click on the bell, you can be notified whenever we go live or upload a new video. But other than that, like I said, we're based in El Paso, Texas. In addition to being online, where we connect with people all over the world, we do have events in person in the El Paso area. So we do have several things this week I want to point in your direction. The first thing is, if you always want to be kept up to date, you can go to our website, BWOMS.com. That's Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. That's the acronym. BWOMS.com. There you can find our calendar of events, including a link so you can subscribe using your calendar app on your phone. And the best thing about those is you can enable and disable like the view, so it's not showing all the time. But if you're curious to see what's going on, you can enable it and just kind of see what's going on in any particular week. This week we do have 3 back to back to back, not including this one because it's online, events. So check it out. Every Tuesday night, we're pretty much downtown El Paso on San Antonio Street. Tomorrow, the 17th, we will be at Rosewood. Rosewood is located kind of in between La Bang Bang, which is a new bar, pretty popular. They have like pretty popular pizzas. They serve wings. They do trivia nights on Tuesdays. And then on the other side is Mona Bar, which is the sister bar of Rosewood, and they serve hot dogs and tots, and they're all named kind of funny. But I'll let you figure that out if you're ever in that area. But yeah, for those nights, it is, in fact, Rosewood is something I call Verse and Harmony, which is a night for music and poetry, and we come together in verse and harmony. So if you're a songwriter, if you write prose, if you do poetry, original or covers, come through and sign up. Sign up starts at 8 p.m. The show starts after 9 p.m. I actually already have people texting me today asking if they could save a spot. I'm like, that's kind of early, but expect some names. And if you guys are interested in more, you can always message us and find us on social media, Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. What else? Bartenders are really nice. If you have any questions about that, okay. Wednesday, check it out. Wednesday, we have our illustrious writers' night. They have been so much fun. Like, we've been growing, and I think people are getting more comfortable. The writers' night is at Proof and Press. That's over there right by UTEP on Mesa, where the Lubies used to be. If you guys know that, where that area, it's demolished now. There's nothing there. But we do have a writing workshop that starts at 7. Candace is taking the week off, going to be out of town or doing her thing. So filling in for her will be Nemesis. If you guys know, if you've been going, you already know what's up. Nemesis has a cool prompt set up for us, and then we do about an hour or so of workshopping people's pieces, and then we do or maybe a little bit more than an hour for sure. But at 9, yeah, so at 9 we start to sign up for an open mic, a writer's open mic. So come through, and those have been a lot of fun. It's a pretty nice little place to read your poetry. Okay, and then Thursday, we are gonna be on the east side. For all our east siders out there who've had to travel downtown or west side or central to be go to our events, we are catering to you. We've heard that for a long time as a demand, and so we're going to return to Rally Point Coffee on the east side. Again, that's East Point, not the northeast one, not the one on Trans Mountain. There's one on the east side on Edgemere. Okay, and that is hosted by my friend Jez, awesome singer, and I think she's been doing pretty well hosting those. I usually go and support and take video and photos, all that stuff. So yeah, Monday today online, Tuesday Rosewood downtown, Wednesday, Proof and Press, Writers Night, and Thursday, Rally Point Coffee East. That is also a night. I don't know if you guys know, the official name of that night is Night of Feels. That's what Jez wanted to call it. It's a night of music and poetry. So if you guys know anyone that wants to perform, invite them out. We have flyers. And again, just subscribe to our calendar. Otherwise, we look forward to another Monday night. Since it's so busy, there's always a lot of stuff going on. I had to do these announcements, but we're gonna go ahead and kick off our online mic. As always, if you guys are hanging out, what's up, Lex? We got Ed in chat already. Again, if you're hanging out in the live chat, say hello. It's always fun. I like to give shout outs, Kit. If you want, you should give shout outs too. It's like, hey, they said my name. Like Nemesis joined last week. And what are the chances? The first time I mentioned her on the stream is when Nemesis was like, "What? That's me." You mentioned what are the chances of that? That's crazy, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and hand it over to today's host. We kind of worked this out because next week he'll be hosting in person at Old Sheepdog, but we'll let you know more about that as it comes closer. You know him as the host of Tumble Words, but he also comes and hosts here at BWOMS a lot from time to time. He also helps every Monday night. He's been here at every single online mic. So without further ado, I'm gonna go and hand the reins over to Mr. Monday Night, Kit Wren. So Kit, when you're ready, go ahead and take it over, and I'm gonna fade away.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you as always for this opportunity. Thank you for keeping this going. Even as things have opened up again, it's still very fun to just think that the sun has made its way to its home in the western sky, and it's Monday night in El Paso. It's time to get on the computer and read some poetry. And I'm going to start us off with a cover poem, just to sort of get the night going. And being Pride Month, share another gay poet. We're going to share Frank O'Hara. Adieu to Norman, bonjour to Joan and John Paul by Frank O'Hara. It is 12:10 in New York, and I am wondering if I will finish this in time to meet Norman for lunch. Lunch. I think I'm going crazy. Well, with my terrible hangover and the weekend coming up at excitement-prone Kenneth Cox, I wish I were staying in town and working on my poems at Jones' studio for a new book by Grove Press, which they will probably not print. But it's good to be several floors up in the dead of night, wondering whether you are any good or not. And the only decision you can make is that you did it. Yesterday, I looked up the Rue Fremicourt on a map and was happy to find it like a bird flying over Paris at Saint-Véron's, which unfortunately did not include the Seine-et-Oise, which I don't know, as well as a number of other things. And Alan is back talking about God a lot. And Peter is back, not talking very much. And Joe has a cold and is not coming to Kenneth's, although he is coming to lunch with Norman. I suspect he is making a distinction. Well, who isn't? I wish I were reeling around Paris instead of reeling around New York. I wish I weren't reeling at all. It's spring. The ice has melted. The Ricard is being poured. We are all happy and young and toothless. It is the same as old age. The only thing to do is simply continue. Is it simple? Yes, it is simple. Because it is the only thing to do. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Because it is the only thing to do. Blue light over the Bois de Boulogne, it continues. The sign continues. The Louvre stays open, it continues. It hardly closes at all. The Bar Américain continues to be French. De Gaulle continues to be Algerian, as does Camus. Shirley Goldfarb continues to be Shirley Goldfarb. And Irving Sandler continues to be the Baileur des Artistes. And Jane Hazan continues to be Jane Freilicher, I think. And so do I. Sometimes I think I'm in love with painting. And surely the Piscine Delany continues to have water in it, and the floor continues to have tables and newspapers and people under them, and surely we shall not continue to be unhappy. We shall be happy. but we shall continue to be ourselves. Everything continues to be possible. Rene Char, Pierre Reverdy, Samuel Beckett, it is possible, isn't it? I love Reverdy for saying yes, though I don't believe it. Right, go Hera for you. So we have a great roster of people from all over El Paso, from all over the area, from all over the country, from all over the world. The internet's fun. It's full of crazy stuff. And someone over on the east side who just started joining us this year, but he's already gotten himself into the firmament of things. He's on a long streak of joining us on Mondays. I'm real happy to have him. I'm a little happy to start the show up properly with Ed Gonzalez. Ed, when you're ready, take it away.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Feel privileged and honored to open the show. Thank you very much. I want to wish everybody a happy Monday. Hello, YouTube. Also, my gratitude. Thank you, BWOMS and Kit and Richie. I got 4 pieces, 1 Father's Day piece, and of course, the amazing Tumblewords and 2 covers. So I'm going to get right to it so we can get to it. We got a long list. So this is my Father's Day piece, and it's entitled Lost Until. You always seem to be around, even though if I looked selfishly for him, he was nowhere to be found. So I moved on to other things. Not, not until I needed help, then he appeared. Never mind that my mother ordered him away. He would appear when need arose. Even when society and schools were gearing us up to strive and step on others to get ahead, Jaime taught selflessness. I didn't see it and it didn't make any sense, but I knew how I felt when assistance was completed. Not until now, I have the job that I've always wanted and never knew it until now. This labor is what lets me finally be me. Namaste, Dad. All right. And we'll move on to the Tumble Words portion. This one by the amazing David Latif. This one's entitled Present. For me to be able to still do my job as full-time grandpa, my political actions, including sign waving and any highly activities, are limited. So I continue to make a big difference with my contemplation practice. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 before bed, except on full moon, as I am prone to lucid dreaming. They are tough on the body, especially flying dreams, as I have no landing gear. Oof. Plus, not much support from others at 3:33 in the morning. When I awake, I continue to write and speak and read and recite on Tumblewords and BWOMS, as well as personal appearances that occur on the east side. And yes, you can have a hug and my autograph. I love you all. Aloha. All right. Okay, cover time. This one is one of my, I've been sort of going back and forth my different books. So this one is from Andrea Hernandez Holm. If you don't have it, gotta get it. Andrea Hernandez Holm. This was entitled Angels and Arizona. Turn open your eyes. See the angels falling, pummeled in mid-flight by invisible fists, knuckles that must have been beaten raw by frantic wings. Turn, arch your neck so that you may see the top of the wall and watch the angels break under the weight of a young man plummeting to the desert floor. Turn quickly, and you will see a child who the angels stole from the world who did not deserve her. Turn, listen closely, and you hear the heavens weep as the angels turn their backs and walk away. Andrea Holmes. And my final piece I got out of Boundless 2025. If you get a chance, go ahead and get it. And I have a piece in here too. Shameless promotion here. This one is called Compline, and this was actually a very good friend of mine, Charles Darnell. Is it the end of the day or days? Heat lasts in the morning, rises with the sun. Breeze blows hot, like billows. Dante need not look far for the next ring of hell. Even the sunflowers dread the peak of pink along the horizon. Vegetation droops by mid-morning. By the evening they lift up rough leaves in prayer for rain. And as we are clever species, we tell ourselves we will adapt, we will find a way. No need to raise our arms in supplication to an indifferent God. We did this. We can undo it, I am sure. And at the end of the day, I pray not to any God, but to the living things, not for renewal, but for forgiveness. And that was Charles Darnell, my homeboy from the hill country. Again, thank you, BWOMS. Thanks you, Kit, Richie. You guys are the best. And I'll see y'all on Rally Point on Juneteenth. Peace and love.
All right. Thank you, Ed. Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you so much. Now, as I mentioned, even though we're sticking around in El Paso, we got a lot of El Paso readers, but we could go wherever we want in this little two-seater plane. And we're going to go to South Euclid, Ohio for our next reader and introduce you to a man who is the poet laureate of South Euclid, Ohio, and also has some duties for Cuyahoga County. He's at the point where he keeps getting NASA functions where it's starting to wear him down. You know, it's like he's the artistic equivalent of the guy with a truck who helps everyone move. But that's the risk you take. But everyone, please welcome Doc Janning to our stage. Doc, when you're ready.
Thank you. I have 4 poems to read tonight, and I'm going to begin with the one that I have read for one Juneteenth event already, and I will be reading for 3 more Juneteenth events, including one on the day. It is titled, If Not Now. Broken shackles and chains lie at the feet of Lady Liberty. Shackles never fully destroyed, despite the Emancipation Proclamation, General Order Number 3, and constitutional amendments. Jim Crow laws, redlining, unequal justice and education, voter suppression, and more. Shackles and chains being reforged. Suppression of history, removal of books and pictures, firing of generals and workers, suppression of DEI and civil rights, suppression again of voting rights, suppression of Black holidays, the dumbing down of schools, the injustice of unequal sentencing, and the slavery of for-profit prisons. We have entered a dark period, a period engineered slowly, deliberately, to become even darker, to turn our society backwards, to return us to puritanical, even medieval ways, ways of strictness and severity, ways of kings and serfs, of servitude and slavery, ways which betray which betray ideals for which our forebears fought and died. And this day, meant to be a celebration, must become a day of activism, a day to educate, a day to reignite ideals and cast out the shadows, a day to stand, unite, and resist. To paraphrase Rabbi Hillel's writings in the 1st century CE, if we are not for ourselves, who will be for us? If we are not for others, what are we? And if not now, when? Changes. In the perigee of day, amid subtle changes from dusk and twilight, and earth's quotidian spin, dark touches down at midnight in Mazarin majesty. Full moon lifts, and the sky sparkles with stars. 'Neath this ancient tapestry, Gaia breathes in gentle zephyrs, luxuriating in lingering warmth. We lie in fields of wonder, absorbing the ambience of the night, and it imbues us with peace. This is titled In a Life-Scented Glade, which is also the first line. In a life-scented glade, in the quiet of dusk, shadows grow longer and deeper. Day slows by degrees and flows into night. Blue scrim of daylight fades, stars revealed in crystalline glory, and I become one in darshan with the multiverse. And finally, this is in the dance of dreams. In the dance of dreams, by dreams of magic, and in that magic, love, an ancient ammomancy, an orgastic conjuration of sacred, sensuous, and sensual. It is a dance of songs, songs of passion, of intimacy and desire. It is a dance of two selves, a consummation and becoming one. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Are there any events on the horizon? Anything we need to know about?
Nothing on the horizon presently, but if anyone would like the poem for Juneteenth, hit me up in the chat and I will send it to you via chat as a PDF. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Doc. Thank you very much for joining us. All right. And it's about this, like I said, we took it local, we took it national, we're going international. For our next performer, they've been stalwart. They've been on this online mic since our first year of doing it. It's been a real pleasure getting to know them and calling them a friend. We even found out they had the same birthday. That's a fun little thing. The birthday twin. It's a special connection between two people, but they are a worker of their work is of a rare power, and I'm really excited that this is your first time hearing it. Everyone, please welcome Lee Martinez Sota to the stage.
Hello, can you hear me well? Perfect.
Loud and clear.
All right, I have a few poems. Most of these are newish, so I'm just gonna start with those. This one is called Quebrado. English so good, can't even tell the nopal stuck in my tongue. Ya ni pican las espinas and blood won't trickle down. English so good, it's not quebradito o limitado, sin flow o mal pronunciado, y sin el bendito acento que mi padre me enseñó. Truth is, when I speak, me quiebro la cabeza, se me cruzan los cables y las letras. I learned it this way porque no había otra manera, si quería seguir adelante, here, there, or donde fuera. I put on a mask and embody who you want so that I don't seem incompetent, unintelligent, threatening, unworthy of existing, de tu lado del río, Words you've used to describe mi lengua, mi tierra y mi gente. Sí, inglés quebrado y español golpeado, ambos marcados por las líneas invisibles, el bordo y sus rejas. But when I speak in English, Spanish, Spanglish, mis lenguas madres, yo quiebro fronteras. That was one. This one here is new as well. I'm just gonna open it here. So this one is called The Night Before the Protest. We went to a protest for All Eyes on Ice Wednesday, 2 weeks ago, I believe it was, or last week. I can't remember the dates. But we went to one of these protests, and I was really scared because number one, I'm an anchor child. Number two, my spouse got residency and then citizenship through me. So it is scary seeing that our community is being targeted, and also that even though we have like the legal way, whatever the fuck that means, you can still get it. So this is about that fear. With the upcoming, here it is. The night before the protest, I sat in silence with a growing apprehension, heightened with every new piece of information I gathered from the news and firsthand accounts across social media. The night before the protest, I researched and scrolled through seasoned fighters' blogs and informational posts, seeking for the answers to a question no one could really respond to. Will they use their violence like they did at the protests in LA? Will they use their violence like they did at the protests for George Floyd? Will they use their violence like they did every time we have fought for our rights? If so, how do I prepare and what should I bring? The night before the protest, I scoured our closet, bathroom cabinets, kitchen, pantry, goggles, cloth, rags, saline wound wash, long sleeve shirts, black pants, comfy shoes, face masks, beanies, sunglasses, granola bars, bottled water, phone chargers, umbrella, painkillers, antidepressants, incomplete first aid kit, all I can think of that could fit in a backpack. The night before the protest, after all the planning and packing, I rested my head on my spouse's leg and stared blankly at the ceiling fan, breath slightly labored as all fears threatened to escape from the pit of my stomach. I'm scared. Words clung to the air before I could stop their escape. ¿Y si nos agarran? ¿Y si nos llevan? ¿Y si nos separan? ¿Y si nos encarcelan? ¿Y si nos desaparecen? ¿Y si nos disparan? ¿Y si nos matan? ¿Y nadie se entera? But fear is not an excuse, not while their sanctioned violence captures, ambushes, separates, and harms children and parents, friends and neighbors, families and communities. Fear is a fitting response to their cruelty, but it must not define our actions. Behind the voice of fear, anger rises, and anger is our body's call to action. All right, and then I have one last one here. This one was written on this past Tumblewars workshop that David guided. It was really cool. So this one in here, no title, was just still kind of working on it. And here I go. They saw us finally as they shopped us into unmarked cars and disappeared us into the system, when our bodies and names reappeared in concentration camps across several countries, when our families were separated by raids and inhumane policies. They had seen us a few years prior when our children's faces screamed and cried for their mothers behind their metal cages, when over 30,000 complaints of physical sexual abuse against La Migra were unearthed, when an increase of 340.17% of deaths and disappearances were reported, when our bodies are found in unmarked graves along the Chihuahuan Desert. They see us now as we are hunted, captured, detained, and deported to a country not ours, as we shunt on the streets demanding due process, empathy, humanity. And they're joining us now, lado a lado, sus voces aumentando el grito por libertad y justicia. The things we can accomplish, now that they have awakened. And that's it for me.
Hey, thank you very much, Lee. If people want more of your work, where can they find it on these here internet?
You can find me on Substack. It's substack.com/my name, Lee Martinez Soto. Or you can also find me on Instagram at cadáveres, like cadavers with an extra E in between the R and the S, _literarios. If you cannot pronounce that, that's fine. I'll share my link in a little bit. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Richie already shared it. Thank you, Richie.
All right, thank you, Lee. Cadáveres, that's what they call it, cognate. You know Spanish even if you don't know Spanish. That's a fun little thing to know. So we're going to come back to the home base, come back to El Paso for our next presenter. As has been mentioned, they gave a great performance as the facilitator for Tumblewars. Got a lot of people using their noggin until it smoked. Got a lot of people thinking in different and creative ways about an optimistic future. And optimism is about 20 a barrel these days. So we were all happy to get some going. And so once again, David, thanks for hosting Tumbleworks, and I'm glad I get to introduce you again here at BWOMS. David, take it away.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a delightful getting to host Tumblewords. I'm gonna read some poems from that Tumblewords and kind of around the theme of like solar punk protesty kind of thing of like trying to make a better world. This one is called I Am Going to Get Into a Fight. I am going to get into a fight, not because I wanted to, but because you wanted to. You decided to show up to my community, the queer community, with your bigoted billionaire bullshit to start kicking kids because they just couldn't be normal. Because we didn't want to ride Harry Potter and the rapid descent into fascism sponsored by Tesla. We just wanted to be ourselves. But you couldn't have that because you saw the pride that we have in who we are and it made you envious. Because you fascists are all the same, insecure failures with daddy issues who could never get into art school. So you start swinging at the people who are secure in who they are, so that we won't be anymore. Because if you didn't get to be happy, then no one can be. So here's the deal. I'm going to be so fucking trans that it makes you sick. I'm going to drown us both in an ocean of queer joy. I'm going to be proud of who I am. And you can't stop me. These next two were ones that I wrote during my own poetry workshop about solar punk and imagining alternate futures. This is called A Poem from June 15th, 2055. The 14th was an important day, don't get me wrong. Historians agree on that. But it's what happened on the 15th that was so important. See, people started calling those phone numbers that they got on little flyers, got connected with the people they had met the day before, and they started building something, movements with demands, not just demands, but actions against the evil, yes, but also for the good. For the first time in nearly 100 years, someone asked their next door neighbor for a cup of flour. And then, shocker of all shockers, the neighbor gave them that flour. It's truly the moment that everything changed and we got this wonderful world with universal healthcare and bodily autonomy, a culture of connection, a nation of friends, because we stood with and for each other, instead of billions of individuals standing alone. And it's why I'm here at your front door 30 years later, asking for a cup of flour. This next one I don't have a title for. If you can think of one, let me know. I'm not efficient, not always reliable, makes it hard to hold a job, but on good days, I'm useful, good to have around in a pinch, so long as it's one of a number of very specific pinches. I fixed a dishwasher. Well, I unclogged one of the hoses that was going to the dishwasher, but it works now. I fixed the shitty faucet that keeps getting loose twice. Helped my friend get his tires changed. I built a desk. It's not a fancy desk, but it's a desk. And it hasn't collapsed yet. I can fix very specific and very simple tears in clothing. The thing at the heart of it all is this desire to help. Probably because I feel too awkward to just sit around. And because on the bad days, I know I'm going to need the same thing in return. So I help. I hope it makes a difference. This last one is called Rise In. It is indirectly about video games and more directly about solar punk and better futures. I've been playing Fallout 4 recently because I got new mods for it. They make it better. They don't fix everything, but I can roleplay an original character now and the damage stats make more sense. But I think Todd Howard is wrong about the post-apocalypse because if we survive nuclear war, I think there's more that we can do than scrounge for whatever's left over. I know for a fact that people will write new music and weave new fabrics and create new buildings because it's what we've always done. Humans don't just settle for what we're given. Life didn't give us lemons. We made them by combining citron and bitter orange somewhere in India 3,000 years ago. And after we made lemons, we made lemonade. We can build a better world that unimaginative losers like Todd Howard can't fathom. So let's crack the code, mod the files, make new citrus fruits, and prove the fascists and conservatives that they're wrong about humanity. We are not condemned sinners in need of some savior. We will seize the means of salvation and save ourselves together. Thank you. You can find me on Substack at Poetic Universal Friend. You can find me on Instagram at Poetic Universal Friend, where you will find links to my Substack. Um, you can be kind to each other, and that will make the world a better place. Thank you, Kit, for running this. Thank you, Richie, for continuing to keep this going. Thank you all so much for all that you do.
Thank you, David, for everything you do. And that is Poetic Universal Friend at most social media. They just implicitly trust that I get the joke. I'm going to confess to all of you I don't. That's fine. We'll discuss that in the after party. But we are going to go international once again, as promised. Load up our little Cessna and head to Malaysia. And another person who first joined us, I believe, in 2021, the height of the pandemic. And yes, share screen is turned on for you. So please welcome Julian Matthews to our stage. Julian, when you're ready.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you. The 3 poems. The first one is called Curtain. Full glass panels, she insisted, so we can see the grand view outside. Then ordered curtains and rods and hooks, so strangers can't be baited to peek inside. 3 sets to alternate annually. Emery linen, crushed velvet, pinch pleated, and twin panel pairs, and a blackout one to block out the sun. For the bay window bathroom, she opted for blinds, but they still required dusting and cleaning. Over time, slats refused to flip, strings snap. You tilt and pull, twist and shout. Have we known when young blinds and bling are just window dressing for a shaded world, that all the ladder climbing and laundering could not wash away the tears, that hearts don't come with drapery, that all that matters is the light within? Then maybe, just maybe, as the curtain call drew near, we could have held on tighter to the cords unraveling in the house we once called home. End poem. This is called Flame Blower. No, I will not burn for you. There are no flames inside me that can be equated to amore. Fear is a limiting metaphor. You really can't set fire to the rain. Who in the throes of love or loss would even try? And no, this girl is not on fire. Sati, that ritual widow burning on the pyres of late husbands, is harsh, draconian, oppressive, so don't even suggest it. That's cultural misappropriation. Terms of endearment shouldn't sound like an inquisition. Let's get real. Calling anyone hot or smoking is so old, tired, and frankly diminishing. Passion isn't a blaze, a fiery outburst, and incandescence. That's too brief, short-lived, transitory. You're not a candle. In the wind, in the window, or even in the dark. And you can't incinerate yourself from both ends. Love isn't a burning, it's a flexible churning. It's gravity and energy multiplied by time. It's holding space, making space, and growing. It tolerates flare-ups and meltdowns. It steps up during flameouts and burnouts. It doesn't water down, dilute, or put out. Love isn't an arsonist either. It may spark warmth, light up an affection, fuel a desire, but ultimately it bears witness. It sits and listens. It has two sturdy yet weary shoulders, one for compassion, the other for kindness. Love isn't a verb, a verse, or any such verbiage. It feeds on memory, barters with facts, trades on truth. When all the fires of grief and loss die out, love still holds out a hand and says, "Come with me. Let's go out, catch some rays. Here's some sunscreen, though. You don't want to get burned again. No, never again." End poem. Thank you. This was written earlier this year. Fireworks. So just a contrast between some of the Muslim nations surrounding Palestine, in which they were going for the Guinness Book of World Records for fireworks. And on the right is a guy playing the oud in the middle of the rain in Gaza under his makeshift tent. The fireworks show in our corner of the city was subdued this New Year's Eve. Distant, muffled, even obscured, unlike other years of festivals when its warlike explosions invaded eardrums, scaring pets cowering under cars and couches, and children under comforters. I can't help but think of families in Gaza tonight. So much grim reality from doom scrolling this year. How easily I muted the crying children in UNICEF ads, skipped the content warning Al Jazeera post of airstrikes and their aftermath, the devastation and rubble, all the persecution and suffering of other human souls just like me, unwilling anymore to follow the raw reels of our inhumanity by sliding my right thumb across the screen as a boundary, swiping away to distance myself from the guilt, this protective, purposeful, opposable appendage that separates us from the other apes, our Darwinian division that makes us who we are, supposedly the evolved dominant species, 8 billion strong tribes of self-aware, tenacious tool makers and creative pixel pushers, yet among us, the power-hungry, weapon-wielding, pyromaniacal sadists. Tonight the fireworks rose, bloomed, wilted, and fell to earth like tiny meteors. And those of us up close skyward staring, smiling, even cheering, felt safe enough to capture the aerial bombardment on phones for the short-lived thrill of greeting another spin around the sun, floating and sharing clips onto the same cloud that in another corner of this troubled earth only begets tears. End poem. Thank you.
You, Julian. Is there where can people find more of your content on the internet?
Yeah, I'll post the link tree.
All right. Thank you, Richie. Beat you to it. I'm putting it onto YouTube. So, all right. Well, thanks very much. Real big fan of how Julian merges visuals along with his work. And that's sort of the benefit of this form, the benefit of doing it online. So you can take chances and combine unlikely elements like this. Our next performer, who's been joining us for a few weeks now, does a similar thing as his poems slide into songs in a very interesting way. It's another sort of fusion. These kind of things just sort of happen, don't they? But anyway, please welcome Storm to our stage. Storm, when you're ready.
Thank you. I'm glad to join you from Greenfield, Massachusetts in the USA. I sort of feel like we need a moment of silence after that incredible presentation by Julian. Okay, I'm going to be doing 2 pieces combined, like Kit said, and one focuses on Father's Day, but I have a very different relationship with Father's Day. I did not have a particularly loving father. He was the type of father that when he died, none of his 3 kids was willing to give his allergy. And I also have a very involved, multiply handicapped, nonverbal, autistic, epileptic, severely mentally impaired daughter. So I'm unable to have what I would like to have as a relationship with my daughter for Father's Day. And she's about to turn 40 in the physical term, and psychologically she tests between 18 and 23 months. And I raised her for many years as a single dad when she was much younger. Okay, so the counter. Years younger, I might have run down the hill to him to ask the latest count, how many cars he had seen from each direction. He didn't count cars before then. He doesn't now. Just those few weeks, part of one summer for an oil company that sought to know if another gas station would prove profitable in our town. He sat in the car for hours away from his desk, his papers, his students with undone homework, and tallied Fords and trucks and convertibles. In the evening he'd come home to us, and he might have said something then to show me what his life was like, but by that time I saw him only as a tragic character in a silent movie role. The best. Well, now that you've discovered doors and how to scoot across the floors, how to tumble off the bed and umpteen ways to bump your head, how to stretch and grab the cat where Mommy hid the Kleenex at, how to tip the wooden chair, the fun of pulling beards and hair, how to bang and how to cling, how to reach for everything, how to test out Daddy's no, and which toys are most fun to throw. I'll let you know what has been said by folks who nod and shake their head as I recite all that you've done. The best, it seems, is yet to come. Morning questions. How do you mourn the loss of a child who isn't dead, who you long to see more often but can't because you've chosen to move further away in order to live? Because maybe someday things will get better. Maybe someday words like nonverbal, autism, epilepsy, mental impairment, aggression, incontinence, and mood disorders won't get in the way when you seek to dance jitterbug or hug her. How do you wake your child with morning, time to get up, kiddo, when she's sleeping in another place's bed? Angels come and gather around this little bed. Lay your loving fingers upon this child's head. Send her joy and blessings. Send her peace and light. Let her know she's precious in the morning and the night. Angels come and gather around this little child. Brush away her teardrops, fill her life with smiles. Let the whole world love her the way I do tonight. Keep her safe and simple beautiful and bright. Angels come and gather, angels come and stay. Guide me as her father to do the best each day. Guide me as her father to do my best always. Love you, Mariah. And my second piece is much shorter. Grief. If I could just wash off this pain like blood, which stain lasts longer? Out, out, damn spot, out of heart, of eyes, of jaw. Someday a smile, one day a laugh, someday not yet. My strange nation has ocean on two sides, and the Bama crimson tide in the south, tilted slightly towards the north. The immigrants pour forth, seeking phoenix and life hand to mouth. My strange nation tilts sharply to the right, with our leaders straight and white as our teeth. Our populations mixed, but our elections fixed in my strange nation, America. My strange nation, built on the backs of slaves who sailed here across the waves. From far away, this cruel experiment was ended by a president who was both a Republican and gay. My strange nation gave the Indians our germs. They surrendered on our terms, as in died. Their survivors filed appeals, so we gave them roulette wheels in my strange nation, America. But my strange nation has lost its mind again, sending young women and men off to war for reasons that aren't clear unless you're standing near to the rich and the righteous and the bored. And my strange nation, enamored of the cross, and who will win the toss of the coin? The circus and the bread distract us from the dead in my strange nation, America. But my strange nation will surely come around. You cannot hold us down for long. We'll sputter and we'll cough and throw the despots off and recover the soul that makes us strong. And my frustration is just a product of my strange but loyal love for this land, for its mountains and its lakes, tornadoes and earthquakes, for its poets and pioneers, for its fetishes and fears, for its freedom of dissent, for its greasy government. I will not change this stance. I will not move to France. I will always hold out one more chance for my strange nation, America. Everything except the last song I wrote, the last song is written by Susan Werner. Thank you.
Thank you, Storm. Where am I here? Quick shout out to folks on the YouTube right now because Samuel Wilson just popped up. Been with us almost since the very beginning. And his sister Amanda, thank you so much for popping in, Samuel. Yakamos, that's a new name by me. Hope you're enjoying it, friend. It seems like you are. And of course, we got the usual crew. We got Sandy, how you doing? Got Ed and David pulling double duty. We got Finn Bell, our friend in San Francisco. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you read soon. And Andres and Lex, of course, showing their support as well. All right, great. It's really, really remarkable. The following we've gotten, and we hope you enjoy it. Mumble transition. So we're going to stick along the East Coast, going from Massachusetts down to South Carolina, where Warren Swagtastical Dixon Jr. There were two Swagtasticals apparently. Sorry, silly joke. But Swaggy, when you're ready, go right ahead.
Can I just say a couple things to you, Kit, before I get started? I
Go
gotta
ahead.
admit, every Monday that I'm blessed to see you and Richie host these things is sweeter than previous Mondays before. I mean, you two absolutely kill every week. That's not an understatement. And I just want you two gentlemen to know that deeply from the bottom of Swaggy's heart. So yeah. One other thing I want to say before I get started with my two poems is I don't know if most of you all had a chance to look in the chat, but my birthday happens to be on June 30th, which falls on a Monday this year. So that should give you a hint as to how I'm going to celebrate. But yeah, if Kit and Richie permits, if they grant me permission, then I want to have a golden birthday celebration because that is what I will be celebrating on Monday, June 30th. My golden birthday, I'll be turning 30 on the 30th. And yes, I get it. I'm still a baby. But don't put me in the adult crib because I've matured from that. I'm a grown-up baby. So yeah. But anywho, I'm gonna get to my two poems right now. So as most of you all know, Father's Day was yesterday, and I decided to share this first piece in honor of Father's Day. So this is called Weight of the Father. There were nights I folded into myself, a silence not of peace, but pause, where memory clung like sweat to old regrets, and the dark was just thick enough to speak. A younger version of me still walks there, half shouting at ghosts, half sure he knows better. The road I paved was not always stone, sometimes glass, sometimes the brittle hush of unspoken apologies. My hands, clouds from more than labor, have carried the sharp edges of consequence, have held a child's future like a fragile flame and nearly dropped it once or twice. Fatherhood did not come with a compass. It came like weather, sudden and vast, with no promise of shelter, only sky. And still, I stepped out. Still, I walked. There were questions I answered with my absence, lessons I taught by stumbling, and yet each tear I have dried has felt like redemption. Each scraped knee, a liturgy, in the cathedral of trying again. You learn that love, real love, isn't found in the perfection of the past, but in turning back for the small hand that trusts you still. Now, she laughs, and in her laughter is a map of every right thing I did despite myself. And I know, no matter how far I wandered from grace, it was worth it. Not for a second chance, but for the first time I truly listened to what love sounds like when it calls you dad. So that's the first piece. That was Weight of the Father. And then the second piece I have in honor of this Thursday, which most of y'all know is Juneteenth. I have this piece that I will be sharing, which is called Juneteenth. Here we go. They ask, why care so much? Simple. My ancestors' blood and bones are the foundation of this nation. But that isn't your blood or mine. We have come a long way. True, but broken chains don't free us from shackles, and half measures can't get us across the finish line. If you hate it so much, leave. In case you missed point one, I'd much rather fix what's broken. I want to make sure that the stacked deck is reshuffled, that kids don't have to grow up in war zones where the only way out is death or a casket, where people don't get to profit from the very thing that took others' freedom. I want a playing field that all can use, where the rules make sense and the enforcers are kind, where I'm not the oddity for never having been behind bars, that people realize that there's more to our culture than our bars. I'm over the 40 acres. I want 24 Oscars. Maybe then I'll see myself on more than just ESPN and MTV. Others have it far worse than you. Well then, let's elevate them too. A rising tide raises all ships. So let's create a flood that washes out the hate. When will people realize that we aren't enemies? That the system crushing you is already destroying me? If they can put people in cages for where they were born, then east side or south of the border are just bad hands we are dealt. I don't know how to fix it, but I care too much to be quiet. So thanks for reading my thoughts. But will you stay silent? And those are my two poems. Thank you very much, Kit. And thank you, Richie. And like I said, I'll get with you two gentlemen as far as if or when we can have my birthday celebration. So thanks.
All right. Well, thank you, Swag. Some pretty powerful stuff there. As far as birthdays go, we refer all birthday business to Dan the Man. It's a passion of his. But hey. I feel pretty sure that we can cook up something for you. Thanks so much again for joining us and for your kind words. So we're bringing it back to the home base now, as close to the home base as you can get, and a little joke on the sign-up sheet might have revealed a conflict of interest to some of you. But you know what? I'm a professional. I don't play favorites, but I do have favorites. And our next performer is one of them. So everyone, please welcome Robin Schofield to the stage.
Thank you, Kit. Thank you, Richie. Happy Monday, everybody. It's been a pretty good Monday around here. I'm going to read a political poem from way back, dedicated to Juneteenth and Sally Hemings. It's called Original Sin at the Table in the USA. The Koch brothers seemed so much like fairy tale dragons, hoarding their black gold, discussing filthy lucre around their ornate, overwrought dining room table. But they weren't. They were real. Filthy rich, Ayn Rand libertarians, no concern for the commonweal. A certain Pastor Jones of Florida was fond of burning President Obama in effigy and not getting in trouble. He had moved on from burning Korans. He called him Hussein Obama as he sat at the head of his dinner table with his wife and children. On the other hand, we didn't call Bush Jr. president until the second term, when he was actually elected instead of chosen by the Supreme Court. Our Vietnamese exchange student, afraid the police might come any minute for what we said around the dinner table. Florida purges the voter rolls as the elderly sit around their diminished dinner tables. People of color haven't had much say at the table to begin with. A group of college kids sitting around a card table playing poker wonder why their blue city in Texas is divided into 4 safe Republican districts, ending hundreds of miles away. The Greeks invented democracy, yes, but also the idea of inherited slavery. Jefferson, no idealist, but one who pursued happiness. His writings never invited Sally Hemings to the dinner table. Okay, so I think we had we tied a record for heat today in El Paso. Got up to 108. For those of you who do Celsius, I looked it up and it's between 42 and 43 Celsius. This is called Haiku of Scorching Heat. Sizzle, bird who hums, light on the feeder that's yours, yet you are wary. No rain, not many mosquitoes. Native plants need water now. Blue damselfly, sky, fallen, try to rise, symbol of impermanence. The universe dark, my teacup empty, water boiling, potential. Hummingbird nest like a sail and mast, sways and dips, doesn't break in storm. Storms of wind and light, Leucophyllum frutescens blooms as with a dry tongue. Dawn temperature at 80, too hot to rise, searing to think of. And then yesterday we had a haboob come in, a big old sandstorm rolled in. And the wind wasn't even blowing that hard or anything. And so, yeah, we borrowed this word from the Arabic. So I wrote this poem some time ago. It's called Haboob Coming. Desert, spring, wind rattles sand into the sky so that you understand emptiness, how it stings. Even though no water runs in the river, can you believe the heron still finds minnows? Like the mockingbird, do you unleash your song tonight, or do you seek out silence? Do you miss a beloved's teases, or do you abide an absence in the spring? Autumn will come without your doing. The trees will be empty, the nests used. Will you be mute like the stars in the night sky that do not light the earth? Now that mesquite thorns cover up the trail, do you still pretend to walk home? Okay, now I'm going to read my cover poem, and it's by Hilda Doolittle. I guess Ezra Pound didn't like that name because he insisted on calling her HD, kind of erasing her name. I don't like that, Ezra Pound. So I think Hilda Doolittle had some bisexual tendencies, but she was also married and had a child. So I'm not sure. Anyway, great poem about heat. O wind, rend open the heat, cut apart the heat, rend it to tatters. Fruit cannot drop through this thick air. Fruit cannot fall into heat that presses up and blunts the points of pears and rounds the grapes. Cut the heat, plow through it, turning it on either side of your path. All right, so that's from Hilda Doolittle, and I just like to say that I write a lot of my poems in tumble words, which happens 1 p.m. Mountain Time on Saturday afternoons over Zoom. And Kit can tell you all about it because he's the director of Tumble Words, but I just wanted to mention that. All righty, back to you, Kit.
All right. Thank you, Robin. And thank you for giving me a little natural space to plug our schedule, because it's a bit hard when I'm not actually reading to actually plug the schedule. But this Saturday at Tumble Words, it's going to be, not be because he's next week. It's going to be Shocky G out of Pittsburgh with a racing history. That's, I believe last time she talked to me about it, that workshop's going to have some Juneteenth elements to it, some Black history elements to it. Shocky's a great poet. She was just in a big slam in the Carolinas recently. So real happy that she agreed to do this, and real happy she's part of the Tumble Words crew. And then June 28th will be B. Seeley, who's a local comics artist, as well as a bunch of different other things. But he's going to be focusing on comics when he talks to us on the 28th. But we are going to go now to New Orleans, where our next performer, who's just been joining us over the last month, has had a lot of interesting things to say. I believe she has a book out. So please welcome Sam Hardy to our. Wait.
We skipped Cassie, I think.
We skipped Cassie. We did.
We did.
Well, this is a.
Let's go ahead. Go ahead, Cassie.
Yeah. This is a very funny situation. We're going international. We're going to our friend. I got thrown off by promoting Tumble Words, and then I was taking pride, and I was going to your nice little flag. I did not mean to skip Cassie, who is our great friend in the Ontario area, and is a very great poet, and we're real happy to hear her. It's been a few weeks since we've heard Cassie, so we're excited about it. So Cassie, go ahead.
Thank you, Kit. All right. Hi, everybody. Okay. So this first poem is untitled. I can almost smell the shore, feel the tangy sea breeze caress my parched cheek, taste the salt water on my arid tongue. But I am still miles away. The shimmering sea hovers along the horizon as though it were a mirage. Sorry, gonna go back one here. But I'm still miles away. The shimmering sea hovers along the horizon as though it were a mirage, and it's not clear if it's mass. It's just a fantasy conjured from the mind of my deprivation. A cruise ship for loosening my landlocked feet, sweeping me up and over the jagged waves. Okay. And this next piece is called Apology to the Flowers. I started painting watercolor magenta morning glories as an apology to the flowers. I can see now that for too long misogyny has bled into the marigolds. That I rejected the twirl of an airy skirt because I witnessed one too many insidious notions get swept up in its wake. I will learn their proper names, the ones they whisper on the wind, to pay them the homage they deserve. I'll resist the urge to collect their petals, to press them between pages, for it would read too much like notches on the proverbial bedpost. I am familiar with I will familiarize myself with the taste of their pollens on my tongue, for they too are much more than meets the eye. All right, and one last piece of mine here. This is called You Can't Have the Ultimate Clarity, after Barbara Ross. But you can have the relentless trust in others' hands for cupping your heart, despite the fact that none of us can be trusted with such things. You can have the courage to face new truths about yourself, painstakingly slowly as you peel back their peculiar, opaque skin-like layers of the whys of you, to reveal annoying, covert motivations, delicate little slivers that take time to separate. You can have the pondering, a sort of sieve, used to pan for silt worthy of true inspection. You can have the perpetual draw to taste a myriad of novel things, no matter the number of times your tongue has been stung. You can have the animalistic yearnings that lead you to the generous water's edge and off the unforgiving pavement on an early, biting July evening, just in time. All right, so that's what I have for originals this evening. And I have a cover poem here. This is called A Drink in the Night by Deborah Garrison. My eyes opened at once, for you were standing by my side. You padded in to ask for a drink in the night. The cup was where? Fallen down behind, churning in the dishwasher downstairs. Too tired to care, I cupped my hand and tipped it to you. You stared, gulped some cold down your chin, whispered again. Oh, wonder, you'd no idea I could make a cup. You've had no idea what I can do for you or hope to. You watched curious and cool as I cupped some to my own lips too, and then asked, why does it taste better? All right, so that's what I have for poetry this evening. If you're curious to occasionally see more of my, or hear more of my work, I infrequently post on my Instagram, if you're on Instagram, at Relentless Intrigue. And I also have yet to utilize it, but I do have a Substack. I believe it's Seamless Notions on Substack. I should really check that. So when I say that in this open mic, I'm sure about that. But all right, thank you, Kit. Thank you, everyone.
Well, I don't know anything about making mistakes in an open mic. Oh, but Cassie, thank you so much for your work. Thank you. And now we are going next to, as I said earlier, we're going now to New Orleans to visit with someone who's been joining us the last month and has had a lot of great work to share and great things to say. And so we're pleased to get Sam Hardy to the stage now. Sam, when you're ready.
Thanks, Kit. Don't worry about it, man. We all make mistakes. So it's been 3 years that I've been writing a book about domestic violence, sexual assault, and childhood sexual assault. And my book's finished now. So I'm going to start pitching it to publishers, or I've already really started pitching it to publishers. But I have 3 poems from the book. One I've read before, but 2 that I've never, ever read. So you'll be hearing it for the first time. And so the first poem is called Something Happened. Oh, and I'll give you a content warning. I mean, I just told you what the book was about. So for those who want to shut their ears off or turn their volume down, you can do that. Something happened. I know something happened to him. Somewhere out there, someone fitted him for his first wife-beater t-shirt and bought him cigarettes, feeding him lies about how he was Superman. Someone big and strong came along and built his ego up so very high and so tall that it was too big for anyone to handle. Someone who told him lies and made him think he was irresistible, that he was the man, and no one dared refuse him. They amputated his sense of decency, his empathy for all others, but I don't care. I can't care about his problems, only what he did to me. Made me grow up thinking all men were animals, scared to be myself, not being really sure who that was anyway. a little girl who thought it was okay to be a whore. So yeah, he was ruined by someone, but I just simply do not care. And the second one is called Lifeboat. Back then, I didn't realize I was dying inside, my development being wrapped up in bed sheets and tossed out dingy and torn. I didn't see that the tombstone you were shoving into my center would stay with me, last a lifetime. I didn't know that this was not what little girls are supposed to do. But now, 50 years later, I know, I understand what you took from me, what I can never get back. I say I forgive you, but I don't. Not really. Years spent in therapy, bearing my soul, talking till I have no more words to utter. My therapist, a lifeboat. She listened and believed, and I learned it was never my fault. Casting off my self-blame awakened me, helped me pause and smell the flowers, showed me I still had a life I could live. Now, as the hotline rings, I answer with a breath reserved just for them, a breath with intentions to help, to listen, to believe, to pay it forward. I am a lifeboat, moored, waiting to say it isn't your fault. And my last one is probably my favorite of the three. It's called Hotline. It's 4:12 a.m. when the phone buzzes against my pillow, like a warning, like a pulse too fast to ignore. I'm instantly awake. She doesn't say her name, just, is someone there? And I say yes, like a vow, like a promise I might not yet know how to keep. There's a silence I've learned to wait through, not empty, but full of everything she doesn't want to remember and may never forget. I count her breaths, match mine to hers, a kind of duet between panic and patience. I listen. I was raped. She says it like a confession, like a curse, like she's the one who did something wrong. I want to climb into the crack in her voice and pull her out of it. But all I have is my voice, my breath, my breathing on this line between us, humming with pain and still holding. I repeat certain things so she knows I'm listening, so she hears, I believe you, because I remember how much it mattered. When the call ends, I don't cry. I drink water, stare at the wall, let her story settle next to the others, stacked like unsent letters I'll never burn and never forget. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. And where was that book? And what was that book called again? And where can people find it?
Well, you can't find it yet because it's just getting pitched now to publishers. But it's going to be called the Lost Little Series.
Oh,
and it's
excellent.
going to be good. It's going to be big. So I'm hoping to have some kind of book reading or something when it comes out. I don't know. I'll talk to some people and see what I can work out. But it's coming out this year.
All right. That's something to look forward to. Thank you so much for joining us again, Sam. And speaking of anticipation, we got a ground swell of support for our next performer in the chat. People are saying, "Where is he? Where is he?" Well, he's here. So everyone, please welcome. His stage name is tonight is going to be James Cox with some music for us. James, when you're ready.
I just want to dedicate this performance to my dad. I lost him last year, first year without, Father's Day. He was a big supporter of my music. I'm going to play a Beatles song. I'm going to play 2 originals, and I'm playing straight through so I get them all 3 in enough time. So. I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the grade. And the only news was rather sad. Well, I just had to laugh. I saw a photograph
He blew his mind out in a car. He didn't notice the light had changed. A crowd of people stood and stared. They'd seen his face before. Nobody was really sure if he was from a house alone. I saw film today, oh boy. The English army has just won the war. Crowd of people turned away. But I just had to learn, having read the book. I love to tell. Woke up, fell out of bed, got a comb across my head. Came my way upstairs and had to come. Looking up, I noticed I was late. Grabbed my coat, found my hat, made the bus in second class. Made my way upstairs and had a smoke. Somebody spoke and I went into a dream. I read the news today, oh boy. 4,000 homes in black and like shit. And though the hole rather small, we had to count them all. Now we know how many others are taking out the hall. I love to turn to my feelings I never felt. Feelings I never felt. Try to put sobriety under my belt. I know it's hard sometimes. Tell yourself we'll be alive. Why, oh, why do I try to figure it out? Why, oh, why do I try? Was there ever any time? There's a chance I'll get there. I need to begin to prepare. Change the person inside of me. Be the best I can be. Why, oh, why do I try to figure it out. Why, oh, why I tried. Was there ever time? Let's go out, have a beer, liquid clear. Why you here, but still, oh, 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 but still, oh, oh, but still, oh, oh, but still. Take a drive, late at night, start to swirl, sirens turn, but still, oh, 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 but still, oh, oh, but still, oh, oh, but still. Make you tell, never felt, can't make bell. My life's in hell, but still, oh, 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 but still, oh, oh, but still, oh, oh, but still. Buzz, kill, whoa, whoa, buzz, kill, whoa, whoa, buzz, kill, whoa, whoa, buzz, kill. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, James. Yeah, and where can people, this is your first time with us here on the YouTube, where can people follow you online to know what's up? See where
I
they
used
can
to have
see
a band
you?
a couple years ago. Online, I go on Facebook as Ugly Rainbow, and on YouTube, I go as Ugly Rainbow. That was the name of my band. So I use, even though it's just me now, if you want to hear some of my older stuff, I don't really perform these days. It was the first time in over a year that I've even played anywhere, so outside of church. So, but I thank everybody that supported me, my friends, and all that. And you know, those last two songs are about alcoholism, which is a difficult disease, and I write those kind of songs because of that. And I hope anybody who needs help gets help, if I can say anything about that. And I appreciate being on here and all that you helped me to get on here.
All right. Great stuff. Thank you so much. Yeah, and thanks for bringing your whole crew, juicing our numbers. Yeah, really appreciate it. Thanks so much. All right. So we're going to go. Let's see. What are we going to do? We're going to keep the music going. We're going to go to Bossier City, Louisiana, to our friend Not Nito, who's been coming the last few months with a different thing every time, which is a lot of fun. And this time under genre, he's written Manifest and Personal Thing. Well, what is art if not personal things? So real excited to hear it. Not Nito, when you're ready.
Hey, what's up, Kit? How you doing?
Doing awesome.
What's up, Richie? What's up, BWOMS? I'm trying to find my good side. I can't find it, so I'm just gonna stick with this side. Actually, I'm gonna post it over here, so I feel more comfortable right there. Okay, so we're gonna do a cappella, and okay, cool. So we're gonna start with Manifest. Let's get it crack. All right. Yes, Lord, I'm blessed. Deep breaths. Manifest. Success. Dressed to impress. Obsessed. Decompress. Baby steps. Never me quit. God's gift. Obvious. Oh, yes. Never me quit. Turn up. All the way up. It's run up the check. How about that? Call back. I want to talk. 100%. 100%. 100%. Never me quit. Couldn't walk a mile in my shoes. Swear to God, walk through the fire if I have to. Let it burn. The fuck I'ma listen to you for? You just trying to crush my dreams like a crouton. They sleeping like futon. Y'all stupid if you think I'm trying to prove you wrong. Cast the melodies inside your ear with brute force. Bring it a vibe, hope it a vibe. What you looking for? Keep on looking for. Promise no tomorrow. Blessed in the mind. Put stress behind. Cricket neck encrusted in diamonds on a quest like tribe. Vibrant, bring peace and love across the land. Me and you are the same, nothing less than a man. Hear me knocking, keep on watching, never giving up. Never me quit. God's gift. Obvious. Oh, yes. Never me quit. Turn up. All the way up. It's the run of a check. How about that? Call back. I wanna talk. 100%. 100%. 100%. Never me quit. Invested so much in my soul. Love it too much to let go. Everyone telling me no, but I know that I'm ready to go. Evolution, I switch up the flow. Exotic, foreign, abroad. Feel like deserving applaud. I'm a healer, believe in the Lord. Never me quit. God's gift. Obvious. Oh, yes. Never me quit. Sign up. All the way up. It's stuck. Never me quit. Okay, so that's manifest. And yeah, and we're gonna jump into personal thing real quick. Let me pull it up. We're doing another acapella. We're gonna run it up. Yeah. My vein. Ooh. Ooh. Every day they look at me strange, help me escape. Can't take nothing to the grave. Feels like the look on my face. I could never be replaced. Exit the world from the hate, distance from the fakers. Exactly what I was made for. I'm everything someone prayed for. Hey, hate. Tell by the look on your face, stay steadily wasting away. Change, increase the gain. Taking our losses a part of the game. Pistol on lap for my safety, also our safety. Got my heart racing, adversity comes from the pain. Music just runs in my veins, don't like me, that sounds like a personal thing. Look in the mirror, fall in love with yourself. Looking out more for others, but not for yourself. Staying away from everything that's bad for your health. And never ashamed to reach out for some help. Gotta cry for you up, bad before you talk. Open up your heart's vault, live like there is no tomorrow. Indulge in no gossip when they hang out with bosses. I know my worth, ain't got time for no small talk. I'm the truth and they know it. It's too much to ignore. Go on for mine, I can't slack anymore. Just be myself, it will all come along. Find out who I was when I spent time alone. My love is strong, strength, heart of a lion. Bottom line, understand when I'm wrong, orchestrate through the pain. My life is a song, my life is a song. Hey, tell by the look on your face, days steadily wasting away. Change, increase the gain, taking our losses a part of the game. Pistol on lap for my safety, also a safety. Got my heart racing, adversity comes from the pain. Music just runs in my veins, don't like me, this sounds like a personal thing. Dream it, believe it, don't you ever feel defeated. Protect it in the spirit, make sure that you're in the demon. Can't even swim, still I'm hopping off inside the deep end. Even if I attack you with my defense. I don't need flowers, I got a pocket full. Growing in your thoughts make you open up. Your pocketbook collided to a philosophical, unstoppable. Believe in yourself, then anything is truly possible. You're the truth and they know it. It's too much to ignore. Go on for mine, I can't slack anymore. Found out who I was when I spent time alone. Found out who I am. Now who I was, who I am now. Ooh. No. Dang. Okay. So my name is Not Nito. You can check me out on YouTube, Not Nito 5G. I'll let your boy if you like what I do, support me. Could always use extra support. Shout out BWOMS, Kit, Richie, everybody with their beautiful poetry. Much love. I'm out.
Right. Thank you, Nita. That was great. Especially like how you are sort of your performance is getting more elaborate the more you go. And I think that's really interesting. I think that's a great use of our stage time. You're adding more like emotive bits to it each time. Thanks so much for joining us. So our next performer, we're coming back into poetry after that long musical interlude. And our next performer hasn't been here in a while, but from what I remember, he was great. You can find him deep in the archives, probably about a year ago. Also, be sure to look in our archives, just pick a date at random, and I've done timestamps so you can find all your favorites. Just watch them if you want. But yes, everyone, please welcome Just Joe to our stage. When you're ready.
Howdy, y'all. So I'm going to do a cover poem by Tony Hoagland. There's a little bit from good old Wikipedia about him from an interview with Miriam Sagan. He talked about his poetic influences. And he said, if I were going to place myself on some aesthetic graph, my dot would be equidistant between Sharon Olds and Frank O'Hara. And so I'm going back to Frank O'Hara, which Kit read. But he said that he found himself between the confessional where he started and the social where he aimed himself. And I've kind of had a similar journey in poetry. Anyway, I'm reading him because I got to take his class when he was at NMSU briefly. And he's just a wild character. He's kind of a Billy Collins-esque kind of voice. So this is his poem. It's called How It Adds Up. There was the day we swam in a river, a lake, and an ocean. And the day I quit the job my father got me. And the day I stood outside a door and listened to my girlfriend making love to someone, obviously not me, inside. And I felt strange because I didn't care. There was the morning I was born, and the year I was a loser, and the night I was the winner of the prize for which the audience applauded. Then there was someone else I met whose face and voice I can't forget. And the memory of her is like a jail I'm trapped inside. Or maybe she is something I just use to hold my real life at a distance. Happiness, Joe says, is a wild red flower plucked from a river of lava and held aloft on a tightrope strung between two scrawny trees above a canyon in a manic depressive windstorm. Don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. And when you do, you will keep looking for it everywhere for years, while right behind you, the footprints you are leaving will look like notes of a crazy song. So that's Tony. And yeah, he was a character when I got to tell this really quick short story about him. And that is when you took his class, he typed all his poems on an old typewriter. But when you turned in your assignments, he would print them out. And to comment on them, he would put your poems in his typewriter and then type his notes onto your poem with his typewriter. It was so funny. So he was very quirky. Anyway, so these are a couple poems I wrote that are taking a similar journey, I think. This one's called Crystal. When you're alone and you hear gunshots in the distance, it's the same as the words you hear at work. It's the same as the traffic lights. And while you arrive an hour early, so the voices start out very far away and then a little closer Maybe one or two who are close enough to say hello, but they don't, because they're here early for the same reason. You hear footsteps, the sound of coffee. You hear the copier. The air is crisp. It hasn't wilted under the senseless tumults of profanity. I didn't know that I was in love. And one day, when I was sitting next to her, she was so careful. She would touch me before she spoke, like she was inventing sign language in a crowded room, and we were the only ones awake to hear the gunshots, like the traffic lights were patiently saying we should kiss. And with each whisper, I could see her breath. And then this one is a poem I wrote a little while back called For Solomon. And I used to own a cat, Solomon, and he passed away. This is a poem for him. There are no businesses born free enough to understand that there is a great sadness to serving people. Even at the adoption agency, the little songs we sing, the simple sound of applause, our hands find each other, and how terrifying this distance between the stars who shine without words. My kitty Solomon died today. I'm certain you never met him. You've read Old Yeller. We've heard it. We've heard that story. As he grew quiet, I kept listening, and he couldn't follow my hand. As the years pass, it makes sense to me how quietly God speaks to us, how a deep thirst shows us that nothing tastes better than water. I shrink from the voices who call to cheer me up. The cold from this morning is gone. The mailbox is full. The train is past, and the road has its miles and miles and no words. And my eyes have no words. And the stillness of a glass full of water. How are we ever proud? Could this lingering voice of Christmas invite snow and wind tonight and keep me quiet? The rain taps on my roof. It's not my friend. Kitty and I used to sit and listen. And I used to say that I was creepy because I was a single guy who owned a cat. And now I'm just a guy who misses the cat who made him creepy. The cat creep factor, we used to call it. We began to calculate it. And if you add in roommates, or if you can train him to do something, or if you also have a dog, you can tip the scale so that your creepy friend is said to be adorable.
Some great lines in there. Thank you so much. Joe, where can people find more of you on the internet if that's what they're prepared to do?
I'm out in the ether. I'm not really anywhere. But I will throw in a pitch real quick. I'll be up at the Jimmy Santiago Baca conference at the end of the month, July 27th, up in Albuquerque, and he's online. It's a writer's retreat. If you look up Jimmy Santiago Baca, and the pitch I'll give to him real quick is he learned to read and write in prison, and we've maybe had those poetry professors who were kind of fruity and were like, look, poetry can save the world. And we're like, whatever. With Jimmy, kinda. Because he'll get people carpooling out to his conference who recently got out of prison and read his book in prison. And now they want to come out and they want to get into college and they want to educate themselves and follow in his footsteps. So it's transformational, to be sure. When you go to his conference, it's a big mix. Yeah.
I've put the link you shared in the YouTube chat for people. It sounds like a great opportunity. Thanks so much, James. Thanks so much, Joseph.
Kit, this is Storm. I forgot to ask you or whoever does so to post the two shares that I put into my sign up about the two different groups I'm involved with.
We did for one of them. I'm scrolling to see which one so we can do the other. Let's see which one first. Yes. Okay, we got both of them. People's Music and Carpe Diem Art. We post links to both of that are in the YouTube chat. So we got you covered, Storm. Thanks.
Must have been that I had to be out of the room. Okay, thanks.
No problem. Okay, so our next performer, is very multi-talented, very fun to hear from. It's only poetry, so we don't get the little Abbott and Costello bits we've been doing lately, but and we don't get me trying to duplicate his rhyming style because I did not have time to prepare one tonight. But we are still excited to welcome the one, the only Ed Poetastic.
You
Ed,
don't
when you're
need
ready.
rhymes for being so sublime.
They help though, right?
Yeah, they help, right? They really help. But I know you have much words under your belt. Hello, everyone. My name is Ed Potato, Infinite Fantastic. Please time you can join my rhyme Fabo Sublime. I got 2 short poems from our wonderful, stupendous, I can't thank you enough, David Latif's workshop on Saturday at Tone Words. It was very creative and just words can't describe how wonderful it was. But anyway, I got 2 and I got other 2, so I won't take too much time. The first is this is called Futuristic Possibilities. My mind is a fish lost at sea. The futuristic escapades in this poetry. If we had high-speed trains, it can lower stress inside the brains. If we had universal health care, nobody would be sickly in despair. If we had a cure for HIV, nobody would be crying on their knees. If we had a cure for COVID, we wouldn't need our mouths with lids. If we had a cure for mean, everything would be more green. If we had plastic eating fungi, our seas would be clearer than our eyes. If we had stopped climate change, our animals would stop acting strange. If we turn dead malls into neighborhoods, it would be less homeless in the woods. If we had marriage rights for the disabled, more relationships would be more capable and stable. Thank you. And my second one is called a bowl of purpose. I used to work for a nonprofit, a time I can't forget to check, grow vegetables for the needy, giving them away so freely. Why am I talking about this? Everything you do is a kiss. You write your inner tales to cast your literary spells. You go to work each day to make sure everything is okay. You get up every morning to lower someone's mourning. Everything is a domino effect. Don't neglect, but simply reflect. If you didn't do what you do, then the sunshine wouldn't poke through. I know it doesn't feel like you did nothing, but dirt can create or shape something. Not trying to say you're dirt. It's not to hurt. It's not to alert, but you're the bowl of dessert. Your skills of being make someone's day. Be sunshine or clay to shield away the gray. Thank you. And the second poem is a classic. I wish Day was here. He always loved shanties. This is called Anything for a Mermaid. I'm sorry, here it is. I sail the most furious tides, anything for a mermaid. Oh, anything for my mermaid. I skin the most ugliest hides, anything for my mermaid. I even swim to the other side, anything for a mermaid. Oh, anything for a mermaid. Which is a love I can provide, anything for a mermaid. I slay a monster 12 feet wide, anything for a mermaid. Oh, anything for my mermaid. I don't really care, I almost died, anything for a mermaid. I even tossed away my pride, anything for a mermaid. Oh, anything for a mermaid. I even take salt in my eyes, anything for a mermaid. I even take everything in stride. Anything for a mermaid. Oh, anything for a mermaid. I even fight with both hands tied. Anything for a mermaid. I even live with my heart dried. Anything for a mermaid. Oh, anything for my mermaid. I even get on the walls rides. Anything for a mermaid. I even climb a steep landslide. Anything for a mermaid. Oh, anything for my mermaid. I even take her as my bride. Mermaid, where did you go? Oh, mermaid, where did you go? I said I love her, yes, she replied, oh where, 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 mermaid, where did you go? Thank you. And my last piece is a bridge recap. The end isn't the end, by nowhere or when. An adventure is never over. That's a cartoon named Homer. I know this isn't Springfield. We can't bounce around minefields. Oh, so you completely agree. Let's talk bonds and poetry. The bond's still there if you dare to share. Please let us build a connection for directions a reflection. Who cares about formalities or different nationalities? We are both human creatures with unique outer inner features. Let's have a cultural exchange. It doesn't have to be strange. There it is, the ugly indifference. Does it have meaningful equivalence? I just want to build bridges and cut up some ditches. Let's build it with understanding. Let's make it vastly everlasting. Please tell me about yourself, even the book you keep on the shelf. We're not different, you and I. I know you're a guy, but so am I. I know you're a woman, but I'm not. Let's not make time rot on the spot. I know you're they, but I'm not. I don't care. Let's give it a shot. Let's build a path on top of words, larger than any tower and Big Bird. This is only a bright beginning. Let's make life more interesting. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Ed.
You're welcome.
Is there anywhere people can follow you and find more?
Sure, you can follow me. You'll find more, so you can feed your wonderful creative cores forevermore. Please come to this wonderful, stupendous Zoom open mic called BWOMS that make our nights light in the wonderful, fantastic spotlight. All right. But if you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman, and my new IG is Foreman underscore Eddie at Instagram. But please always remember that I will always come to the open mic to some of my wonderful, fantastic delights in the wonderful, fantastic spotlight. All right, but I wish everyone a wonderful, blessed day. I hope your sorrows go away. But please, please, please come back to listen to Words and Stack before you have a heart attack. Let's not say that. But thank you so much. I wish everyone blessings. I wish everyone hope, and I wish everyone love. Thank you for coming to the show. If you don't know, now you know. I love this show.
All right. It's like a bonus pony gets to work in. Thank you, Eddie. All right. Well, we're going to put up the bat signal real quick, see if Dan's ready. Dan, are you ready?
Gonna need a minute. Hold on.
That's all right. We can get you a minute. Gonna see. Go through the notebook, see if I can find something that's not ready for prime time yet. I kind of want to do that. I want to experiment. Yeah, let's go ahead and read. Since a lot of people have done that, I'll go ahead and read something that I wrote during David's workshop. See how it sounds out loud. The old mall is dying, and the new mall is struggling to be born. Now is the time of monsters, Gramsci said. That I am quoting Gramsci while yearning for the mall must make his ghost sneer and retch. Almost everything in the mall now makes me say, what the hell, man? Hot Joe's meal prep. Get out of my face. I know your mother, Joseph. She's worried about you. Do I want a K-Dog? At the risk of being offensive, no. I will never want a K-Dog. Now is the time of monsters, and you can pet them at the Touch Aquarium, which I believe is French for illegal zoo. But the green shoots of a better future are already leafing in the mall. There's an arcade with just claw machines. That's nice. There's a place to read, labeled as such, Book Nook with nothing for sale. There's art galleries that pop up and disappear, spirit Halloweens of the soul. And though it pains me to see My Chemical Romance set next to the Rolling Stones as equivalent forces in the idealized past, I'm glad Hot Topic is still around to teach the old ways, to keep the Molgoth flame roaring. Let's see. Where'd it go? I think I must be aloof sometimes. I'm very locked down. Do I seem cold to you? At the same time, I always feel like I'm running a fever that defies all medical precedent. Like, it feels like work to sustain this, yet I also feel like this is insufficient. I used to have dreams where I would ask questions like these and you would answer me. Sound and sage counsel from beyond the veil. There was a dream just before when you told me what was coming. And so I dismissed dreams about you at my peril. I don't know what I want. I'm not sure what I mean. I remember talking with you over AIM my lonely freshman year of college. And you graciously took time away from dying to hear my loneliness scrape against the cabinets of my 8th floor dorm. I want to tell you what it's like to be 37, but I'd have to start with what it's like to be 20. Unusual milestones occur to me. This year, your death can have cigarettes. Shall I buy a pack and leave it out for crows to develop problems? I keep trying to write this poem for you, but even if I get it right, you'll never get to read it. Mom's written a better poem about you. That's not fair. You were my friend. All right. Dan, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We see him with his our local cryptid, our cultural ambassador, our birthday correspondent, wearing his Coldplay shirt, which I presume he got this weekend. Coldplay, I don't know what you're talking about. It's 104 degrees out there. But Dan the man, close us out. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Yes. What a day last Saturday, or what can we say? It was in the Sun Bowl at Bay. First Jim Ward, then 2 others, and then Coldplay. Yep. On the stage, and always have some of the songs to say. Like In My Place, Paradise, and for my fellow, what do we see? Is yellow. Yeah. And the only thing, as something's way out of space, well, it's kind of a space with all the songs in space, but there's 3 of them were missing. Like Magic, in Magic, Trouble, and in my place. Yeah. Yeah, but at least we still have see at the stars, see like the sky's full of stars. Yeah, all above. But we want to say like we believe in, is it everything? And believe in love. Yeah. And always for the skies above. And it's just like feels like I'm falling in love. Yep. So it's always Coldplay, and yep, and the song, Let's Pray. Yep. Oh, what a day. Yep. And all leading up to the night. Oh, speaking of day, well, speaking of day, this is my last Monday and as 41. 42 starts next Monday. Yeah, and I appreciate your birthday wishes. Oh, it seems like only blisses. So, thank you. I appreciate that, but let's wait till Monday. Yeah, that's like an early start. Okay. Well, it looks like Coldplay has already coming to a night. Well, with all the flies, all the lights, and I know Saturday's fight night. Yep, Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. That's a fight night. Yep, Coldplay has shed the light. Okay, Kit, tell Richie, let's call it a night.
All right, Dan. Thanks very much. Sure to check out Dan the Man's Weekly, which I believe is still on hiatus. Oh, they're doing the gimmick boxing at the Sumbo. Fuck that. Fuck all of that. Okay. Well, no gimmicks here. We give you the straight shit every time. And we'll be doing that this week at Rosewood. Tomorrow, downtown at San Antonio. We'll be at Proof and Press and Nemesis. That is her real name. There's been some controversy. I want to settle all the questions right now. That's her real name. And she'll be leading the workshop on Wednesday at Proof and Press, our writer's night, which is really fun. We end up getting stragglers sometimes. We got a table of med students who are like, wow, yeah, let's try it out. And I wish them luck. I wish them well. And we have on Thursday, way out, is it East El Paso or West Hudspeth? Either way, it's Rally Point. So it's a great show. Jez does a great job out there. And then, was there anything Friday? Or is that the end of the... I think that's... and then, well, you can check our... check our schedule whenever you want at our actual factual website, BWOMS.com. If you're one of those people that's opting out of social media, it's too late for me, but I don't blame you. So we do have our own independent website, BWOMS.com, where you can get reminders about all our events all over town and, keep up to date with our goings on here on this website. You can check out the video series where you can find people like David and Lee reading their works on Fresh Cuts. And then Saturday, go ahead and check us out at Tumbleworks from the comfort of your own home, just like this. So writing workshop, that's generative. It's all about generating new stuff and then just sharing it right off the rip. Be brave. Okay, we're going to hand it back to the big boss, Richie, just to close out the night and see if there's anything I missed. But thank you all once again for spending some time with us at the stay-at-home open mic.
All right. Well, I mean, you got all the announcements, man. So we're good. I'm going to go ahead and close the stream. See you guys next week. Got nothing else to say. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Be on the lookout for the sign-up sheet Sunday night, Monday morning for sure. We post it on our social media. All right. Everyone